Hi, I'm Coach CoachClemens, and welcome to Perfect Moments. You know, I get asked a lot by parents and coaches and kids, what's the best age to start throwing a curveball? And I give them the same answer that I gave my son, is just wait as long as possible. There's no need to rush into this, and I really believe that there's no need to learn to throw a curveball until you get into high school. A couple reasons for this. One is the obvious health risks that are involved in throwing a curveball. Until all the tendons and muscles and ligaments and growth plates and bones and everything in the shoulder and the elbow have really matured, there is a lot of risk of damage, and the damage can be severe and it can be permanent if a curveball is thrown too much and it's thrown incorrectly. And so, in my mind, in the youth game, there's no need to throw that. The risks are just too great. The second reason that I think that really isn't needed in the youth game is that the changeup can be just as devastating a pitch in the youth game. By the time the kids are 12 or 13, 14 years old, they are going to need two pitches if they're going to pitch successfully and be competitive. And I think that a changeup can be a tremendous pitch to learn to throw in the youth game. Now, whether it's the circle change or it's a palm ball, it's a three-finger ball, or some variation thereof, there are a whole bunch of different ways of gripping a changeup and throwing it. Pick one that works for you and you feel comfortable with. But the reason is that it does take quite a while to get used to throwing a changeup. That the grip and the release are different than throwing a fastball, and so it takes a while to get used to, especially with kids when their hands aren't maybe fully grown yet, and so they're still not able to grip the ball fully. So give them the 2-3 years in the youth game to really be able to learn to perfect that changeup, and it can be a really devastating pitch. Then by the time that they get into high school, they already have two pitches. Curveballs are easily taught. I learned to throw a really good curveball in about 2 months. Had a pitching coach that taught me the grip and taught me a few things how to do it. I worked a lot on my own, talked to some other coaches, helped me along, and within 2 months I had a really, really good breaking pitch. And so that's something that can be picked up at the right time in the high school game. And at the high school game, you also have access usually 4 or 5 days a week to the high school coach. You have really good instructors at the high school level usually. You get folks that really know what they're doing. They know how to teach the proper mechanics. They know how to do it in a way that isn't going to cause damage to the shoulder or elbow. And so I think that's the perfect opportunity and the perfect time for kids to learn how to throw the curveball. So my son is going to be 14 this year, and we have not talked about throwing the curveball. Well, we talked about throwing the curveball. We haven't done it yet, and I haven't taught him how to do it. And I'm probably going to hold off until very late in the season, about the time that he starts to enter high school, enter ninth grade, to start working the curveball with him. Now, he's been asking a lot to do it, but we've really resisted. And I think when you lay out the case to kids in terms of the benefits aren't there, the dangers are there, but the benefits aren't there, and that if you teach them something else, the changeup, and they can start to have some success with that, then it's a really good trade-off, and I think the kids will respond to that. My son has, and the other kids that I've coached. So that would be my suggestion. Forget the curveball, teach the changeup, teach them to throw a good hard fastball, have them hit their spots, and they can be a tremendously effective pitcher at the youth game, and you set them up for longer-term success when they start to get into high school. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Perfect Moments, and here's to your perfect season.